Good morning to you all, and thank you for popping on to be with me today. My name is Maureen Rolfes, also known as the Crazy Stamping Lady. I have been an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator for over 28 years, and I love what I do. I'm here to help you find the joy of card making and paper crafting, to give you tips and tricks to make that more fun for you, and then to encourage you to send out your beautiful creations to others to make their day. The goal is to eradicate loneliness one card at a time. Hi, Penny. I'm glad you're here. It is another nice day here in Middle Tennessee. High clouds, high of 80, a little bit of a breeze. We're getting down in the 50s at night, which is super nice. Yeah. Only problem is it looks to be this way for the next 9 days, and we need rain, and there is no rain in the forecast. So crossing my fingers that will change. If you're watching, please be sure to say hi in the comments. Good morning, Shar. Let me know that you're here, that you stopped by. And if you're watching later on the replay, let me know that also. Every comment you leave today through midnight tomorrow counts as an entry to win the card that we make today. So that's kind of cool. I love to hear from you, and I hope that encourages you to leave your comments for me. And then, yeah, I don't know. My train of thought just went out the window. Yes, but that is true. Everything I've told you up to this point is true. Sorry about that. Congratulations to the winner of my last card. It was Sally Nussbaum. And Sally, I don't have your address. So please private message me or email me at crazystampinglady@gmail.com your mailing address by midnight tonight so I can get that card out to you. Looks like I have one hair out of place, so let me get out of the way. Yeah, let me know. Otherwise, tomorrow morning, I will be redrawing for the winner of my last card. And also, if you can, good morning, Lois. Good morning, Karen. If you can share my video, that really helps my small business out. So if you share me to a friend, to your homepage, to a crafty group, anywhere you share me, let me know, and I will give you a bonus entry toward that card. All right, let's turn you around. You'll see sunshine. Take you down to my table. Hopefully I'm where I should be. This is me, Maureen Rolfes, the Crazy Stamping Lady. My blog is crazystampinglady.blogspot.com. My email is crazystampinglady@gmail.com. My Facebook is facebook.com/crazystampinglady. My YouTube is under my name, Maureen Rolfes, and you can shop with me at stampingwithmaureen.stampinup.net. Stampin' Up! Does have a rewards program. So for every $20 or more order you put in online, you will automatically receive 10% back in rewards that you can use on a future purchase. Those rewards are redeemable for 1 year, and you can get your account at stampingwithmaureen.stampinup.net. Just a couple quick tips when you do that. Be sure that you opt into the rewards, because they can't give you rewards unless you say yes, you are willing to get them. It is the law, so they have to ask. And secondly, be sure you opt in to receive information from me. If you do not opt into that part, I can't send you a catalog when our catalog time comes around in Stampin' Up! And that happened this past time. There were 3 or 4 of you who had not opted in, and when I tried to send you a catalog, it wouldn't let me do that. So please be sure you opt in to receive information from me. All right, guys, I have a couple cards to share. This first one is from my friend Lori in Oregon. She makes these beautiful trading cards. You've seen them before. The first one is for September 11th, remembered forever. And on the back it says September 11th, and it lists the number of people who died that day, 2,975. So we really should always remember what a horrible tragedy. And yeah, so I love that. That is a really cool little trading card. And then she always makes me 2. She sends them 2. So this one here is for October, and it's pink. I'm assuming in honor of Breast Cancer Awareness Month. It says, "You will never regret being kind," and that is so true. And I don't know if you can see or not, but she has a tiny little pink heart stuck here on the bottom that is so cute. Tiny, tiny, tiny. And then just from Lori. I love these, Lori. I appreciate them so much. Thank you for always remembering me and sending them. And then my next card is from my friend Cheryl. Cheryl lives in Indianapolis. And this took a while to get here, I think, because I'm pretty sure she was asking me about this. Anyway, it was just this adorable little card, and it actually has a design I've never seen, which I like. Look at that, how you cut those apart and put them together in a different order. Super cute. And then it has that pocket. We used to have this pocket, and we had a little frog that could come out of it. We had the pretty daisies that went with it. Such an adorable set. Just a cute, cute little card. Inside it says, friends are like pockets. You can never have too many. Cute, cute. Thank you, Cheryl, for thinking of me. I really appreciate it. All right, guys. Let's see what else is going on here. Okay, my upcoming classes. So I am having both an in-person paid class this month and an online version of the same class. These are little thumbnails of the 3 projects we'll be making. If you are in person, I need you to sign up as soon as possible because I am starting to make these kits up. That class will be this Saturday, September 13th from 1 to 3:30 p.m. here at my home. If you are ordering it for online, you will be invited to a private Facebook group where I will do the projects with you. I will send your kits out ahead of time so you have them. You need to sign up for this class. Let me see when I had deadline to sign up for this class. I put Thursday, but I think that's wrong. Let me just double check this really quick, guys, so I'm giving you the right answers. Actually, everything is wrong on here, I think. How is that? Actually, I think this date should be Thursday the 18th. So I don't know why it says no. Everything else is right. So this class will be online in a private Facebook group on Monday, September 29th at 1 o'clock. You can contact me to get the class. You can send your payment or you can Venmo me $25. That includes the shipping and handling for the class. I will send you out your kits and invite you to the group. Both classes are basically the same. You're going to make 2 cards of 2 designs plus a little 3D project that we're making. You'll get everything to make those. I can't do your stamping, so you're going to have to add your own sentiments. But for the pair images, if you're doing them in person, we'll be stamping them and coloring it. If you're doing it with the kit, they will be cut out of the designer series paper for you. So the cards will be basically the same, just with that option. Anyway, need to know by probably tomorrow, hopefully, for Saturday's class if you're coming, because I'm in the process of kits. And by September 18th, if you want to join this class, they will be fun. Just trust me, they're going to be cute, cute, cute. Okay. Also, every month I offer a free monthly virtual card class. This, you can receive the kit with a qualifying order in the month of September. To earn the class kit, you just have to place a $50 order and you'll get the 3 card kits. $75 order and you'll get the 3 free card kits plus a bonus project. $100 order will get you 3 free card kits, a bonus project, and a half a pack of an embellishment. So just a qualifying order will get you the kits for this class. Any smaller order I receive in the month will receive a handmade thank you card from me, and all orders are entered into my monthly prize drawing. October class. So the class for these kits will be held on Monday, October 13th, 2025 at 11 in the morning. That class is right here in this Facebook page, and it is open for anyone to watch. But if you have the kits, you can craft along with me. So yay to all of that. Okay, guys, we're going to make a cute little card today. Now, I made a prototype, but I'm not going to put it out yet because I made it for a friend. And you'll see as we put this together why I chose to make the card like this. She is super sweet. She brought over vegetables for us. Carrots, tomatoes, peas, a kohlrabi, just some wonderful vegetables from her garden. Just so sweet, came over with them. So appreciated. And so I want to make her a cute little thank you. And I thought, what could be better to use than this Storybook Garden Patch set? Now this set, as well as the dies that go with it, are on the last chance list. And the best way to order them is individually there. The bundle prices normally are best, but when things go to last chance and they reduce them, a lot of times it's even better just to get them on the last chance prices. So this would be 26 plus 20 is 46, 70, $47.10, and it was on the bundle price before over 50. So check this out if you love it as much as I do. It is so cute. I love gardening. I love all of the fruits and vegetables we get, and I think this is going to be a keeper after it is gone. But we're going to use this today, as well as a coordinating set that was in the suite called Storybook Friends. Now this one has all the little bunny rabbits and chipmunks and a hedgehog and cute little things in it. It also has these great framelits that cut them all out, and then these kind of frame type framelits. We are only using the Hello Friend out of here. On my card that I made ahead of time, I put thank you, but to make this a little more generic, we're going to use the whole Hello Friend out of here. And this is also on last chance. So this one is $22.50 for the stamp set, $33.30 for the framelits. So it's approximately the same exact price it was before. It may go down in price if it stays there long enough, but last chance, as you know, is just as it says, it's only there while supplies last. So it could go away at any time. So if you love these, be sure to check them out. Along with that, we're going to be using the Timeless Plaid Designer Series paper. This came out, I think, at the same time. This is not on the last chance. As of now, it's still continuing. It's an online exclusive, and it is awesome plaids that can be used year-round, spring, summer, winter, fall. You've seen me use them a couple times before. I love plaids for masculine cards. I love them for fall cards, for Christmas cards. We're going to be using it today for our garden card. So I'm going to move some of these things out of the way. And we're going to start out by building a little scene that's going to be our focal point on our card. So in these amazing framelits, I'm going to set this aside. This is going to be for our sentiment in a minute, so I'm just going to set it aside. There is this piece right here that cuts out ground. It is just earth, you know, for a garden. So we're going to use that to start our little scene here. And the first thing I'm going to do is add some color to all of these pieces. And to do that, I'm going to use my Pecan Pie stamp pad and my brown blending brush. I just use one for each color group, so this one is the one we are using on here. And I am going to add some of this Pecan Pie ink to the edge of this card. Now I'm not doing it across the bottom because I'm going to have my earth across the bottom. So we're just going to come in on the sides and just pull in a little bit of that earthiness to it. Otherwise it was just too stark vanilla. I wanted it to be a little more shaded for this card. We're using a lot of like the earthy tones on here. And so we're just going to come in. Again, I'm just coming in right on my mat, tapping off some of it before I go on, and then just pulling that color in on the edges of my card and blending it. Okay, so now we have just that little bit of color around the edges. I'm also going to do the same thing with my two little earth pieces. But when I put these together on my card, I'm going to have them come in kind of like this. And then this one is going to come in kind of on top of that, like that. Okay, so that's how they're going to play. I don't want this sharp little edge the way it is on here, because I did that on my prototype and I wish I hadn't. So I'm going to fix that. You know, you learn when you make a card. I'm going to come in here with my scissors And where that little edge is, I'm just going to kind of round it and bring it down. And I wish I had done that before, but live and learn, right? So now when this goes on top of it, it just looks like a mound of dirt in front of a mound of dirt. So that was something I learned on there. We're going to come in on my 2 pieces, and I'm going to take more of my ink on here, and I'm just going to come in and put it on the edges of my crumb cake. So this is crumb cake cardstock. I'm just going to come in and pull some of that pecan pie in on there. I'm not worried about it being perfect in any way. I just want it I want it to look more like earth or like ground. So we're going to come in, put a little of that on there. You can also add a little bit to these fold out parts if you want, and we'll be using those. So I'm going to do that here. I'm going to try to pop that up on my thumbnail and just add a little bit of color to that mound right there. And I'll do it on the other one just in case some of it shows. Just a little bit against my thumbnail. Again, there's no right or wrong on this. You're just trying to add a little color. We're going to do the same thing on this one. On here, I'm going to be cutting most of this off, so I'm just worried about this mound part of earth. Gives me a nice little tail to hang on to, so that part's good. And come in here and put a little more on the top so it has a contrast. And then again, if you want those little mounds to show a little bit, you can add some extra with your brush right on those by popping them up a little bit. Well, these are just little touches. You don't necessarily need, but I like them. I think the little touches can really make a card. So I'm going to get this out of the way for a second and come in. Let's see if my Kleenex will just take this off. If it won't, I'll grab my chamois, but a lot of times my Kleenex is enough. That's all I need. And that'll be good. So now we have that excess off there so I don't get it all over my card. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is play with what we're building up here. This is going to be my piece that comes off on this end here. And this is going to be my piece to the left. I want to add, and it's because I built this scene ahead of time that I know where to put everything. You would want to play with this and see where you wanted to put everything. But I'm going to add my little shovel. Now, all of these little pieces from here are gorgeous. It's fun. It's like a dollhouse type set or something where you're cutting out all the little pieces and putting them together. So all these little pieces I colored ahead of time, but I am going to color the basket with you just to give you an idea of how I do my coloring with blends. But I want to place this little shovel into the dirt, like it's coming out of that pile of dirt and over to the side, just like that. And I don't want it to move, so what I'm going to do is grab my tearing tape and take off just a little piece of it. And on the back side here, I'm going to put that over it and push it down. So now it's holding that right in place. That's not going to go anywhere. And then on this little mound here, I'm going to take my beet. And in my recipe, I will put that out at the end and I will post it afterwards. I did put all of the colors of blends that I used in case you want to use the same ones. It was quite a few for this one. So I'm just going to come in here and put my beet sticking out of the ground, just like that. And then I'm going to take one of my carrots and do the same thing. So I'm going to take this carrot and poke it in this one right here and have the leaves go kind of behind my beets, just like that. Now, of course, I don't want this little piece here, so we're going to cut that off. So I'm going to come in here first, again, with my sticky tape, just a little piece of it, hopefully long enough to cover both of these. If not, I will cut another one. Oh no, I think it's fine. You don't need a lot. You just want something to anchor it there. And then I'm going to come in with my snips and I'm just going to snip off the bottom of that carrot so it doesn't show. So there are our little vegetables coming up out of the ground on this side. Now I know carrots and beets are usually into the tops I didn't need to be that realistic. I wanted you to be able to see how cute these were. So they're sticking up a little bit more than they would have to. So we're going to set these to the side for a second. I'm going to grab my basket, and I'm coloring my basket with our pecan pie blends. So I'm going to start out with my light pecan pie and color the entire basket. And I know a lot of you have heard that our Stampin' Write markers, our watercolor markers, are going away. And that is because our blends have become so popular that we honestly do not sell many of them anymore. Everyone loves the blends so much. So if you haven't gotten on the blend wagon, you might want to try them and start practicing with them because they are amazing. So I'm just coloring my whole little basket here. I looked on the last chance list, and I think all of the markers are still out there except for maybe last year's in color, the ones. They might be gone. Not the current ones, but last year's. So check that out. If you love the watercolor markers and you want to stock up, now is the time because they're on last chance and they will be going away. Next thing I'm going to do is bring in my dark pecan pie. And we're just going to add a little bit of that around the edges here. So coming in from the side, across the bottom lightly here, and then coming in from the other side, just like that. I'm also going to go down here like underneath my handle, like there might be a little shadow from that. And I'm going to come across the inside of the basket and make that darker, as well as the handle. So there's some contrast here. So I'm just going to come up here. I love using this tip that is the felt tip end, the wider brush end, as long as it doesn't get worn down. They do get worn down eventually, especially if you color your gems and your ribbons with them. I use it most of the time. But on the other end, we do have this little nice nib end, and that works great for those tiny areas too, so you may want to try that, especially if you're not as sure of yourself with your coloring. And then I'm going to come in with my light pecan one more time and just kind of blend this gently in. Now where I'm going over the old light, it's going to get a little bit darker, okay? And I want to be sure I leave just a little bit of lightness in there to look like the light kind of shining on there, so I have some contrast. And then the last thing is down here, I went out of the line just the slightest little bit down here at the bottom. Honestly, I probably wouldn't normally even take it off, but it gives me a chance to show you our color lifters. We have these clear color lifter markers, and you can go over, if you go out of the lines, go over it gently. Let it dry, it'll lift it up, and then if you need to go one more time, go one more time. You might need to go 3 times on some of the darker colors, but it'll actually lift off that color that is outside of your lines. So how nice is that? And we didn't have that for watercoloring, so I love that. Okay, let me grab our cut and emboss machine, little mini, and I'm going to grab my basket die. Where is my basket die? There it is. I see it. Doesn't look as much as the basket in here, so I had to think about that for a minute. I'm going to grab that, pull this out, and we are just going to die cut this out. I'm going to place it on here, place my little die around it, and then because these are right up to the edge and I want to be sure it cuts out straight, once I get it all lined up the way I want it, I am going to place just a piece of slightly tacky washi tape. This is washi tape that I've used before. I've put it onto my shirt a few times to get the fuzzies, so it's not quite as strong and it's not going to tear your paper when you take it off. So that is important when you're using washi. Make sure it is not too strong. You want it strong enough to hold in place, but not too strong to cut the paper. So just a tip to think about. And let's put this over in my little magnetic tray so I don't lose it. Okay, so there is our basket. Now we're going to put this together. So on our basket, I want to have a little bit of this cabbage kind of sticking up on the edge. I don't want the whole thing. I don't want it larger than this portion. So what I'm going to do is kind of lay it behind and see how much of this will work. And it looks like about right here, if I cut it across, it should be good. So I'm just going to come in here and cut this right across like that. And we're going to place this on here. Now maybe that's too much. That might be a little bit too much. It is, so we're going to cut it down just a little shorter. No problem. This is all hit and miss, but we can do it. Let's see if this one works. Because I want this to fit right like it's sitting in the basket and before that handle. And I think this is going to work. I'm going to trim off just the tiniest bit of this white here, because there's white on the handle it's butting up to. And the same thing on this end, a little of that excess so it doesn't go past the edge of my basket. And then I'm going to take, and you could see this was already cut. It's because I used a piece on my prototype. So I'll show you that when we're done here so you can see what I did with that. I am going to take this, which is now going to fit right against the basket there. And I'm going to place some Tombow glue right along the top edge here of the, oh, I got a little bit off on my basket. Let's see if I can scoot it over. There we go. I'm just going to place the tiniest little bead of Tombow glue along here to hold this. Okay. And then I can lay my lettuce right down on top of that basket, making sure I'm not going past the edge or past the handle, because I want to look like it's sitting right there in the basket. Oh, if I can pick this up and show you. Like that. Okay. And that Tombow is holding it. Now to be extra sure, I am going to again take my extra sticky tear and tape and just lay that down to anchor them together on the back. Like that. So now we have our little lettuce basket. I'm going to get rid of some of these other little pieces. So let's put our whole little focal point together. I'm going to start with this. I am going to lay the handle part, the part that has this little shovel in, right along the very edge here on the bottom. So let's get our Tombow glue and place that on there. And you can go right over that tear and tape. It's not going to hurt anything. You want to be careful when you're doing Tombow glue to spread it out lightly. You don't need any big globs that are going to ooze out onto your card. So I'm putting just some tiny little beads of it along there. And then I'm going to grab my little tweezers, because I love my little tweezers. And we are going to place this right at the bottom of this card. And the tweezers helps give me like a third hand almost to get that right where I want it to be. And because it's Tombow glue holding it, we know that we have a little wiggle room on it, so that all is perfect. And then we're going to come and place this one over here just like that, just so that our mounds are overlapping each other. So I only need Tombow glue on this one to about this spot right here. So let's put some on here. Hold this one down. And then to give my little veggies a little dimension, I'm going to grab my mini glue dots. No, I'm not. I'm going to grab my mini dimensionals and place one behind my beets and one behind my carrot top. And then when I stick this down, it's going to pop those up just the slightest bit from the dirt. Okay, let's grab our little tweezers again and come in here and place this one. So I'm placing it right over here to the edge, right on top of that other one. Like that. Up, and a little glue came out. And then I'm going to push down on my dimensionals. Now I did get a tiniest little bit of glue there, so I'm going to take that oozed out. I'm going to take my glue eraser and I'm going to come in here and just rub that on there a couple times. And that's going to take off that excess glue that oozed. It was super simple to get off of there, so that is gone. Then we're going to snip off this end, because we don't need that. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is take this carrot, and I want this to go in the basket with my lettuce, and I want it to be layered up like over the handle, just like that. So we're going to do our same little trick with our double stick extra tear and tape stuff. I love this. I use this all the time to anchor things down, guys. It is great, great tape. I might not have made that quite long enough. Let's do another little piece. Want to be sure. And this tape on the back isn't going to hurt anything. It's just holding all these pieces together. And then we're going to do the same thing on our carrot. We're going to snip off that bottom so it's not showing below the basket. And there is our basket that we're going to add. And this basket has the carrot and the lettuce already cut. Now I want this basket to kind of come in here and stick behind that carrot like it's sitting there, and these are in front. But I also want to have it have a little bit of dimension. So on the back of here, I am going to place 2 more of these mini dimensionals, one on the carrot top. Make sure I got my right end here yet. And one on this end to give this a little bit of dimension onto my card. Now tip, the mini dimensionals do not like to stick on this sticky. You could pull the back off of this, it wouldn't hurt anything, but instead I'm just placing my dimensionals where they're not on top of it. So whatever you need to do to make that work and stick, that's what you do. But I want this to have a little bit of dimension on the card. So as I place it, I'm coming in here, putting that basket right here behind the carrot, and then laying this down onto my ground. Come in here, guys. Just like that. So now all of our little veggie tops do have a little bit of bounce on them, a little dimension coming off the card. This one I did not do that from, but it's hanging kind of over the edge. If you want it to lay down flat because you're worried about it popping up or getting caught, you could put a little bit of Tombow bit behind it. I actually kind of like it looking like it's sticking up from the card, so I'm not going to put anything behind it, but you certainly could do that if you're worried about it going in and out of the envelope correctly. Okay, let's see what's next. So let's put our card together. I think we're at that point. I'm going to grab my envelope here and our other pieces. So we have a basic white envelope. We have a basic beige card base. This is an A2 base, so it's 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. It's going to go horizontal for us today. I have a piece of that designer series paper. Now this is 3 3¾ by 5. Yep, that's right. 3 3/4 by 5 inches. Honestly, I think either side would work on here. I think they would both be adorable because look how good those colors go on there and how they go on there. But I'm going to use the plaid side just because I like plaids a lot more than the checkers. That's just me. But either one would work. So if you're making a lot of these cards, there's several plaids in here that would work for this. I want to add some ribbon to this. So we're going to take our seal, and I'm going to place some seal on each end of this, and we're going to wrap around some of our basic beige classic ribbon. And I love this ribbon, and I hope we do not get rid of it soon because it is lightweight, easy to tie. I just think it's so pretty. It's so neutral. It's easy to color if you need to color it. So it's beautiful, beautiful ribbon. And we're just going to wrap this around. So I'm going to start it here on this end and make sure it's overlapping my sticky, and pull it around to the other end. And you can use your plaids on here to kind of make sure that you're getting it straight, which is really super nice. So like that. And then I'm doing the same thing, guys. I'm grabbing my tear and tape and I'm anchoring that ribbon. I commonly do this. I don't want this ribbon to pull out at any point on the card. And so by anchoring it with a little bit of tear and tape, and guys, tear and tape goes on forever. I can't believe how long my spools last, so don't worry about using a little of it. It really helps anchor on your cards. I'm going to take my bone folder in and just bone fold one end of that to make sure it sticks really well. And then that helps the backing lift off once you run your little scissors along it. It'll just help that pick up and you can bring it off. Because I don't mind that that's exposed now because I want to stick this layer down. If I wasn't sticking this layer down, if I was rising it up on dimensionals, I would leave that backing on there. So I hope that makes sense. Then we're just going to use our seal and come in here and add some seal to make sure that this sticks down nicely onto our card. I think that's all we need. So I'm going to center this onto the front of my card. You heard my bone folder just go clankety clank there. Sorry about that. See if we can get this centered just like that. Now this card is taking me a little longer than some of my cards, but this, like I said, is for a special thank you for a friend. And when I'm doing special cards for someone, I don't mind if they take a little longer. I'm a clean and simple gal. I'm mass produce all the time. But once in a while, I just need that special card for someone. And this is one of those times for someone who thought of me in such a great way. We're going to lay this layer, just using seal, onto our old olive piece. So this very vanilla piece of cardstock on here is 2 1/4 by 4 inches. And the old olive that is behind it is 2 1/2 by 4 1/4. It looks like I'm a little crooked on that. So let's see if I can pick it up and straighten it just a tiny bit. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that's the measurements for that. This is going to pop up over my ribbon. So we're going to add regular size dimensionals to the back of here. You guys are having a super great day. Let me know what the weather is by you. This is a changeable time with fall coming. It's telling us right now we're in our second false fall and that we will get warm weather again. I'm hoping not, but that's what everyone is saying. I love fall. Fall weather is my favorite. So I'd like to hear what your favorite time of year is. We're going to come in here and take these backings off. And then pick this up and I'm going to layer it centered side to side and over the top of that ribbon. And I'm actually centering it top to bottom also, as close as I can, without worrying too much about it. Okay, so there we go. There's the focal point of our card. Now I want to add a bow to this. So I'm going to add a bow here on this end. Let me grab my ribbon one more time. And I usually tie my bows right off the spool if I'm making them just for one card and not for a class. It just saves your ribbon. You're not losing a lot because otherwise you have to cut more than you need to tie that bow and then you end up trimming it all off, and I hate wasting ribbon. So I'm going to come in here and we're going to just pull this little ribbon until we get it to the size we want. Now on my last card I made it a little bit bigger and I wished I hadn't. I wished I'd made it smaller. So on this one we're coming in with a tinier bow. And I'm going to come in here and trim that and come over here and trim that. And then we're going to add this over here on the side just above our little shovel with the glue dots. So let me grab my glue dots. I'm going to put that on the back of the center of there just by pushing down on the glue dot roll and then picking up, making sure I get the glue with it. And I'm tucking this tail behind my shovel because I want the shovel to be on top of it, and then coming in over here and just adding that to the side just as a little extra touch to my card. Let's put one of my scraps. So when I cut this piece down, I cut 2 1/2-inch strips off of one side of the designer series paper. So that brought my 6-inch DSP down to 5, which is the size that I needed for the front here. I'm going to use these strips to decorate. So we're going to take, I don't think we need anything on the inside of here. This is plenty light to write on. So I'm just putting some seal on here. And we're going to use one of these strips and come across the bottom to kind of pull that same design in from the front of the card, just like that. And then I'm going to trim that off, like that. We're going to do the same thing on our envelope. Over here, let's see about how long I need it, just to about here, just so I don't have to put a ton of extra glue on there. We'll come in here and glue this one down. And these strips on your envelopes usually go through the mail very well. I don't even worry about them before. I used to worry about them being so perfectly glued down. Honestly, the mail does not seem to catch them. They just go through. I get cards all the time, and I send cards all the time with those on just as a decoration, and they go through just fine. So how about that? That's pretty cool. Okay, so now we have that. Let's do our sentiment. So for the sentiment on here, I'm going to be using Memento Black ink, and I am using the sentiment again, like I said, from the Storybook Friends set that says Hello Friend. So I already have that mounted here. I'm going to ink that up. We're putting this onto a piece of crumb cake, and I'm going to put it on right here. Now this was just a scrap, so I didn't cut it down any closer. It's probably about a 1/2 inch wide. I'm not quite sure how long, but I'm going to trim it down, so that doesn't matter. I just wanted to be sure it was big enough. I'm going to trim this end down, so just go straight here. I don't want that quite so long, just like that. And then on the other end, I'm going to flag this, so we're going to come in here down the middle, and then I'm going to come up from each corner to that middle cut and make a little flagged end on here. Hopefully I can get that out without ruining this. I don't think I cut quite far enough on either side. I do need to go for an eye exam, guys, so I think my eyes are getting old. Okay, there we go. So there we have our little flagged end on our Hello Friend. I'm going to add this to the front of the card right up here, just like that, hanging over the edge. So I'm going to add my seal to all of it except that very end. And then we're going to come in here and I'm going to center it kind of between my vegetables and the top of that vanilla area, and coming right over to the edge of my designer series paper, like that. So Hello Friend is on there now. And then we need to add some bling. So I'm going to use on this card, oh, you know what, I wanted to add that Hello Friend on here too. Let me do that right now, or I may forget. So right next to our little strip, making sure my envelope goes the right way, I'm going to come in here and we're going to add Hello Friend. So when they get that in the mail, they know this is going to be something sweet for them. Okay, so let's add some bling. So I pulled out my low profile dots, and now I got to decide if I want to do which color, and I'm going to go with the pink. I love the gold, it gives it some brightness, but this whole thing is kind of muted colors, and that pink just matches so well to that plaid. They're almost the same, so I think we're going to go with that. And I'm just going to use my fingers. These low profile ones are hard to pick up with the snips or the take your pick tool, but they peel off pretty nicely by just using your fingers. So let's put one down there. Let's grab one of the large ones here. And I'm going to place that right over here. And then we'll do our third one. I'm going to grab this other little one right here. And I'm going to push this right on there. So, okay guys, that is our little Hello Friend card as a thank you for my friend who gave me a bunch of stuff from her garden. It just seems perfect to me for what I am doing. So this is the one I just made. This is the one I am giving away. Let me show you the one that I made for me that I will be sending. It's very similar, all of the same products basically. except that I used a different plaid. This one is a little bit brighter. On here you can see where I didn't cut my mound, and so it's got that straight line. I might go in and try to lift that with my snips and kind of curve it because I didn't like the way that looked and why I changed it on here. And then I have a different bling on here. The ones that are on here are brand new in the online exclusives. There are Cajun Craze and gold dots. So they're Cajun Craze colored with gold all sparkled through them. And because this was a little bit darker paper, I used those on here. But I really like the way the low profile ones work on here. So I love my embellishments. I love that I can have them all and play with them because I'm always picking different ones to use on my cards. Although you guys know my favorite ones are the rhinestones. If I could just have one, it would be rhinestones, rhinestones, rhinestones. Okay, guys. Those are my cards. I'm going to bring this one back because this is the one I'm giving away along with my little instruction sheet for today. I will also post this in the comments of this video so that you have it if you want to take a picture of it and keep it for you. Okay, guys. A reminder that our 12 days of holiday presentations are going on this week over on our Global Inspiration Stamp Team page. So if you are part of that group, be sure you're checking those out. We did all of our weekend presentations, which were so fun. And now we're on day 9 of our 12 days. So we still have a few more days to go. Also, you just don't want to miss them, guys. There are such great projects out there, but tips and tricks for your stamping. If you're a customer of mine or part of my Crazy Stamping Ladies team, you are welcome to be a part of that group. Just let me know if you want an invite and I will add you. And then I want to thank you for being with me today. I honestly really hope you liked this card. I loved the way it turned out. It is not as clean and simple as a lot of mine because there was a lot of coloring and cutting and stuff, but to me, it's well worth it for a good friend. Finally, I would love to have your business. If you're looking for Stampin' Up! Products or just if you have any creative questions for me, feel free to contact me. I'm here to be ready to answer your questions, to be your creative coach, to help you with any of the products that you don't understand through Stampin' Up! So please feel free to reach out to me by email at any time, crazystampinglady@gmail.com. I do plan to be back here on Friday with some more creative inspiration. Same time, same place. So take care, and I hope to see you soon. Bye.